You know what's an interesting notion in society is that people only value people doing things if it makes them money. People think that if you do an activity that it's invalid if you don't make money for it, don't make money from it, or don't do it for a living. For example, like let's take basketball, right? You know, most people in society, they'll look at, an NBA player as, that's like the pinnacle of, with a person that basically that's the pinnacle of that every person that ever picked up a basketball aspires to be, which that may or may not be the case. But the point that I'm saying is people will look at a person, at the local rec, at the park playing basketball, and let's just assume that, they're of a certain, demographic, whether it be age or whatever, and they're not in the NBA, they are seen as invalid. They are seen as a failure, but that's kind of a limiting and just basically nonsensical notion, because it's basically reducing the human experience down to, you know, monetary value, and just completely removing the point that, people do things that they enjoy. People just, it removes the aspect of people doing activities that they enjoy, trying to be good at them as best as they can be for its own sake. It's kind of like if you're an artist, but your paintings are not in some type of prestigious museum, you're looked at as, you know, you're looked at as a failure. You're looked at as a bum. You're looked at as a loser just because you enjoy art. But I guess like you don't make to that person's, arbitrary subjective opinion that you're not valuable. You're not worthy of whatever praise that, you know, uh, Van Gogh or insert famous artist or whatever. That's not the case. Why can't we, as a society, look at people valuing their own mental well-being and doing activities that they love to do and aspiring to actually be as good as they can possibly be at those activities for its own sake? So in my opinion, I feel like that is, you know, one of those cornerstones that, I don't really see a downside to. It's just, that seems like an all-around positive thing, because whenever you just place a arbitrary monetary value on everything, and if it doesn't meet that standard, then it's irrelevant or, uh, you know, worthless. That just seems stupid to me. You know, um, professional versus recreational or amateur. It's like a weird concept. Doesn't really make sense. I think it all stems from the this notion that human life and human worth is based off of capitalistic metrics. You know, if you're basically, if you're a grown man and you do an activity and you don't make money from it, or you don't do it as your sole purpose of income, then you're a failure. That's the notion, right? But it's basically perpetuating this notion that, kind of like when you first meet a person and they ask you, what are you? What do you do? And they expect you to answer with what you do for a living instead of what you like to do for fun, or something that you enjoy doing, as a hobby. And I feel like that's a fundamentally flawed way to view human society and, human development, as far as, you know, mental well-being and, just subjective well-being in general. But, it's like, if you're an NBA player, what are you? I'm a basketball player. But he's basically allowed to say that because that's where he makes the majority of his income. But, take like a bodybuilder. What are you? You're I'm a bodybuilder. Are you IFBB pro? No. Or you just some gym bro that lifts weights and, does steroids. You just some guy, some jackass, But why can't that guy say, I'm a bodybuilder? Because that's what he actually does, and that's what he enjoys in life, But I guess that's just some type of a naive, childish, or, however you want to say it, way to look at the world. But, I just, think it makes sense. Very simple logic, simple reasoning, but I guess most people don't see the world that way, which is fine. But everybody's free to voice their own opinions. I believe in the freedom of speech, which basically is the freedom of thought, even if you disagree with it. But yeah, if you like to cook food, if you like to cook, you don't have to be a professional chef to enjoy cooking. You can enjoy cooking and cook with as much passion as, some 5-star celebrity chef, whatever. You can cook with as much passion as that person, just doing it as a hobby. You don't get paid for it. You just love doing it. When did doing things that you enjoy to do with passion and trying to be the best you can, and being completely engulfed and immersed in what you're doing, become a bad thing? How are you, invalid for doing that? I just don't understand that. I don't understand that logic, that reasoning. So I think it's like, I don't know if people are consciously thinking this, but it de facto serves this purpose. It's like, it's kind of like almost like they want you to think in their, hierarchy, basically. Like, they want your mind inside of a box, basically. If I can convince these people that this piece of paper or this number in a computer is what you're worth as a human being, then I can control them, because, I control the flux and the movement of commerce. So if you think that this money is what you're worth as a human being, now I can control you because I know that you're going to do whatever it takes to get that money. You know, they don't want people to live by morals and principles. Because the moment you live by morals and principles, then they can't own you. You know, if I just say, well, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to do this job or whatever it is for less money so that I can do something that I enjoy, you know, something that you're passionate about, or, you know, something that you believe in, that's basically against the status quo. You know, you have as much freedom as you have the intelligence to want and the courage to take. If you just a spineless motherfucker, don't stand for nothing, you're gonna fall for anything. You know, it's that simple.